We mentioned at the top of the show, Fox News confirming the FBI office in Little Rock, Arkansas is investigating the Clinton Foundation. Possible pay-to-play on the radar. Joining us now, Fox News politics editor Chris Steigerwald. Great to see you tonight, sir.
Howdy, ma'am.
What do you make of this? Because a lot of people think this stuff has all died out. Any talk of investigating the Clintons or of Hillary Clinton is just cover for what's going on with Trump, and it's not going to go anywhere.
Well, both things can be true. We have, you would know this, Counselor, we have probably 98, 97 districts, federal district courts in the United States. Each of them has a United States attorney. And the one in the Eastern District of Arkansas has been a hotbed of this kind of stuff for decades, because where the Clintons have been and where the Clintons have gone, controversy and scandal has always followed. The U.S. attorney out there, I believe, is named Cody Highland, I believe his name is. But he is a Mike Huckabee veteran. He was working for Mike Huckabee back in the days when the Clinton machine was trying to take Huckabee out as governor. This is some old blood feud stuff, man. This is some deep down Arkansas Delta business. And what you see is this U.S. Attorney's Office, this FBI field office, has the opportunity. Whatever the Justice Department wants to do, obviously it has to be approved in Washington. But if this prosecutor out in Little Rock wants to take a good look at what the Clintons were doing and what was going on, I don't think there's probably much to stop it.
Okay, so do you think it goes anywhere? Because we've been told before that this is just a rabbit trail. There's nothing to it. It's all been fully investigated, and there's no smoke, there's no fire.
Well, if you love America, and I'm told reliably that you do.
As do you.
Even though you beat me at trivia today.
We're not going to talk about it. It's too soon.
I'm still smarting.
Hashtag too soon.
But look, it is reasonable to want complete answers about what's going on, what went on with the Trump campaign, and also complete answers about how the Clinton machine, the operation Clinton Inc., how it operated, what it did, what all was going on, were favors paid for. We remember Peter Schweizer's book that we reported on too, the New York Times reported on, and others reported on, that had a lot of stinky stuff in it. It seemed inappropriate. And if people were, or even thought they were paying for favors from the Secretary of State when she was in office, that's something we ought to want to know about, and we should be able to hold those two thoughts in our mind concurrently.
All right, the Daily Beast is also reporting that the DOJ, they have information, is reopening a look into Hillary Clinton's emails. We've seen, and Judicial Watch reported today, I think that they have pressed and pressed for information, that they've now uncovered there were more classified information, classified documents, emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop that his wife, Huma Abedin, a close confidant of the Clintons, apparently that had got mixed up somewhere. So it sounds like there may be some interest in reopening whether or not she mishandled classified information.
Maybe, but we've been down. Now, if there's a rabbit trail here, this has more thicket around it than maybe the other one. This question's been explored. Obviously, people think that James Comey did it wrong. People think the FBI did it wrong. We have 2 or 3 investigations into the investigation of the investigation. Presumably, we will get to some clarity on this, but that will come as one unit, not some specific pull aside about Huma Abedin or something like that.
Okay, now I want to talk about the Bannon quotes and the speculation within the Michael Wolff book. It's gotten really ugly between Bannon and the president. They were once very, very tight, although the president seems to be downplaying that at this point. Just
accurate.
You can do the. I'm going to classify that as a guffaw. I take that as a guffaw. Michael Wolff, who is the author of this, he tweets, "Here we go. You can buy it and read it tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. President," saying, listen, you can threaten us with all these letters and lawsuits and everything else, but you're actually drawing more attention to it. But something we thought was interesting today in the copy that we've gotten is that Bannon apparently was telling people, in this book, it says Bannon was telling people something else. Steve Bannon, was going to run for president in 2020. The locution, "if I were president," was turning into "when I am president," because he talked about he thought the president was either going to get impeached, resign, or just barely make it through one term.
As much as it pains me to spend any other syllable of my life discussing Steve Bannon's theses about power and the application thereof, he was talking in that sense. If Trump didn't run or wasn't running, he wasn't going to challenge Trump. The Bannon stuff here is basically a comeuppance for a guy who overstated, hyped his own game, with, by the way, the help of the press, who loved to make him into this Svengali who was behind Trump and controlling Trump and doing all these, because there had to be more to it. It couldn't just be red hats and rallies and MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. There needed to be some intellectual, and Bannon auditioned for that part and was granted it in large measure by the press, and now he goes kablooey. The stuff that's interesting in this book and the stuff that will last and is important in this book isn't about Steve Steve Bannon. What's interesting in this book is about how that White House allegedly worked in the opening months and what that means about John Kelly, what that means about going forward, what it means about the level of confidence that the staff has in the president and the president has in his staff. And I will say one thing. After all the allegations in this book, Donald Trump needs to give a real interview or hold a real press conference or do something soon to demonstrate to voters that the allegations in this book that he is dotty or senile or incompetent are untrue. He needs to get out and lay those to rest quickly or it'll stick.
Well, there is always an open invitation for him to come and interview with us on Fox News at night. Yes, it can happen. So White House, call us and we'll make that happen. Chris, good to see you.
You bet.
All right. Well, you may not have heard, but there's actually some good economic news happening on President Trump's watch on Wall and Main Streets. The Dow Jones Industrial Average hitting its 7th 1,000-point milestone since President Trump was elected, closing above 25,000 for the first time. This bull run began after President Obama was elected, but it's now accelerated quickly since President Trump took office. And a new report says private sector job creation surged last month. More companies today announcing they will give workers bonuses, pay raises, and increase 401 contributions to share savings from the $1.5 trillion GOP tax cut bill. President Trump weighing in on Twitter just moments ago, saying this: the fake news media barely mentions the fact that the stock market just hit another new record and that business in the U.S. is booming. But the people know. Can you imagine if O was president and had these numbers? Would be biggest story on earth. Dow now over 25,000.